I am delighted to welcome Ronnie to the stage today, to the virtual stage. Thank you, Ronia Fraser, who is presenting at the in-person conference next May. Very exciting. And your topic, Ronnie, is an introduction to trauma-informed NLP. Now, this is a really important topic, I think, and very important that people understand a bit more about it in an informed way. So to start off with, do tell us a little bit more about you and your presentation.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Again, I'm super excited about the in-person conference and yeah, very honored to be one of the speakers. And a little bit about me. My name is Ronia Fraser, and I'm a multi-award-winning trauma recovery coach and clinical hypnotherapist. I'm also an NLP master practitioner, NLP trainer, and I'm one of the leading experts in the field of narcissistic abuse recovery. Which basically means I work with abuse survivors who have or are suffering from complex post-traumatic stress. And that's why trauma is so close to my heart. It's really a topic where I'm super passionate about. It's my daily life. And I've been doing this work, working with complex trauma now for almost 7 years. And over those 7 years, a lot has happened. Like 7 years ago, yes, we did talk about trauma, but not in the same way we do now. And NLP is an absolutely incredibly powerful tool to address trauma. However, there is a way to go about it. And because trauma informed trauma, those are those buzzwords that are flying around now. I think that makes it so important to actually talk about it in the right way, because a lot of practitioners, not only NLP, just in the whole, healing field, have just added trauma informed to their offering without actually having sufficient training, without having the experience or the tools, to provide their clients so they can actually see them out the other side of it. And obviously, everybody who wants to work in trauma, oftentimes it's us who have experienced something ourselves, right? And we had to find a way to get out of it, to fix ourselves, if you will. And because we have a big heart and we care about people, we want to use our experience to help other people. And which is very noble, but there is a way to go about it. Just calling oneself trauma informed because we understand what has happened to us isn't sufficient. There is a way to facilitate healing from deep trauma. And as I said, NLP is so powerful. And I mean, I live and breathe NLP anyway. So my presentation will be an introduction into what does it actually mean? What is trauma informed? And how does that look like? What do we have to take into consideration? What is it that we are actually dealing with? And how do we deal with it? And then also, what I think is really, really important is how can I safeguard my client and how can I safeguard myself and my business, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you. So, Ronnie, what practical learnings will delegates take away from your session at the conference?
Yeah, as I just said, for one, the understanding of what are we actually talking about here and what does it mean? What does it require from me as a practitioner? How do I set up my session? How do I communicate with my client? How do I make sure that my client feels safe and is in a safe space? How do I hold this space for my clients so they can do what they need to do? And obviously, when we deal with trauma, there can be ab reactions. How do I handle those ab reactions, or how do I minimize those ab reactions in the first place? Because they're very nice and gentle ways how we can set up a session to really, cocoon our clients in. So all this emotional release work, trauma work doesn't have to be this harsh process. I'm all for highly effective. I mean, I'm German, right? Efficiency. But I'm also, for me, gentleness is very, very important. And there is a really beautiful way how we can facilitate healing from trauma in this effective yet gentle way. So we'll be talking about that. And then, as I said, I already mentioned it as well. What I think is very, very important is, what do I need to do as a practitioner to keep myself safe as well? Because obviously we're dealing with mental health challenges, but most of us are not trained medical professionals or licensed therapists. And, you know, I mean, some of us are obviously, but many people that go out there and want to work with trauma are not. So what can I do? What can I not do? You know, what can I advertise? How can I even present my services? Because the last thing you want is get into legal trouble because of using the wrong wording or claiming something that you can't claim. How do you safeguard yourself from legal implications? You know, that you know, somebody doesn't walk off and something happens, and then all of a sudden you have a lawsuit. We'll be talking about medical disclaimers and waiver forms and all those little things that you can put into your business to safeguard your business as well. Because obviously we all have a good intention, but then the business world comes in, the legal world comes in, and there can be really, really fine lines. And also we are dealing with, you know, a challenging, really deep topic. And I think that's why this is really, really important, because what I've actually noticed is that even in trainings now, people are given the idea you can just work with trauma. And I mean, yes, you can work with trauma, but just doing a 5-day course isn't sufficient. There's much more to it, and on so many different levels. So we'll be looking at all of that. We'll be looking at the session. We'll be looking at yourself. We'll be looking at the client, and we will be looking at it from a business and legal perspective as well.
An incredibly well-rounded, informative session. So is there anything that delegates can do beforehand so that they can get an even better experience of your presentation at the conference?
Not really. I mean, just come and see and take what's important for you. I mean, maybe you're already working in trauma and you just want to have some add-ons, some little tips and tricks. Maybe you're just starting out your journey and you would like to go into this field. I mean, why not start it out on the right foot? You know, and I mean, we will have a Q&A and everything, and you know, any questions that anybody might have, maybe from their own experience when dealing with trauma in a therapeutic, in a coaching setting, just bring them, and then we can talk about it.
Explore a lovely exploration.
Exactly.
So so as I said, we're delighted to have you at the in-person conference this year. What inspired you to want to present at the NLP conference?
I think it's my, I don't even know, third time maybe presenting at the NLP conference. And I love the NLP conference, my favorite conference every year. I already bought my ticket when I just left the last one this year, because it's just so, it's such an inspiring event. And you guys, you put so much love and effort in, and you can just feel it, you know. And I love the NLP conference because the presenters are always high quality presenters. You learn so much, and everybody just comes with curiosity. And if you put all those practitioners in one room, everybody curious and eager to learn and develop themselves, I mean, just the energy. And I mean, I don't have to tell you because obviously it's your event, but I'm sure everybody who has ever been will agree as well. And it's just a very inspirational space to be in. And I think I have some things to share. So it's a nice thing to combine those two.
Absolutely. And it was lovely because we actually met in person for the first time at this year's conference. Having worked together, as you say, you've been a presenter in various in previous conferences, and we actually met in person because you actually came to the in-person event this year. So it was lovely to properly connect. And I think that is the special thing about the in-person element of the conference. So as I said, it was lovely to meet you in person for the first time.
Likewise.
So thank you so much for explaining just a very small part more about your presentation at the conference. And for anyone who's interested, Ronnie is presenting at the in-person event on the 12th of May next year, 12th of May 2024, and your topic is an introduction into trauma-informed NLP. It's a 90-minute session. It sounds like it's going to be a very well-rounded and informative session, so we very much look forward to that. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for taking time to talk to us today.
Of course, thank you.